Professional organizations exist because we can accomplish more together than on our own. This is only true when we are effectively communicating. If one person knows something, it can only have a great impact on the organization if it is shared in a meaningful way with everyone else. Communication is more than just talking or typing. In organizations, communication is what the listener does, meaning communication has only occurred based on what the listener understands. We have all experienced having to share the same information over and over again. A fair rule of thumb is that if you share information 7 times, half the people will say they heard it once. This can be improved if we are more thoughtful in our communication. One way to be more intentional in communication is to consider the DISC profile of the people you are working with. DISC is a behavior profile that is organized on a 2-axis grid. The up and down axis looks at how active or reflective an individual is, and the left-right axis looks at if people are more task-focused or people-focused. Where people fall on these axes are plotted and provide some predictive qualities that can help us understand how to work and communicate with each other. A couple notes. 1. There are no positive or negative profiles. Each profile has pros that support an organization and cons that can be detriments if left unchecked. 2. Everyone can stretch themselves to work in all 4 profiles, but the profiles represent where they are most comfortable. Because it is behavior-based, you can change your profile through habit changes. It's important to know your profile so you can determine your own strengths and weaknesses. It is also important to know the profile of those you work with. As a team, you could share your profiles with one another. But since DISC is behavior-based, you can also tell profiles just by paying attention to how they talk and what they do. This information can then inform you on what to try and what to expect. The next few slides will help you observe those you work with. Someone who has a high D falls in the dominance profile. These people talk more than they listen. They may be pushy or rude. They may speak fast or with an authoritative tone. They are all about getting the work done. They are direct, make good eye contact, and rely on gut feelings. Some examples in history are General Patton, Gordon Ramsay, and Kobe Bryant. When working with high Ds, communication should be to the point, clear, and on topic. Be ready for blunt responses, a lack of empathy, and minimal social interaction in the workplace. A high I is the influence profile. These people are open with their emotions. They ask about people, use stories and anecdotes, go off on tangents, and exaggerate often. They're animated in their emotions, spontaneous, they approach you closely, and are often seen as warm. Examples include Robin Williams, Oprah Winfrey, and Dolly Parton. When working with high Is, approach them informally. Keep conversation light, and let them tell you how they feel. Be ready for them to need the spotlight, for them to overestimate themselves or others, and to be vulnerable to rejection. Empathetic statements go a long way with high Is. The high S profile is steadiness. High S's talk with a steady delivery and are reserved with their opinions. They are often the peacemaker and are cautious about hurting others' feelings. They will consult others often, are patient and tolerant, and are embarrassed by recognition. Some examples include Martin Luther King Jr., Mr. Rogers, and Michelle Obama. When working with high S's, provide a secure environment, tell them about change early, and show them how they are important. Be ready for a friendly approach to others, resistance to change, and difficulty with prioritizing and deadlines. Finally, high C's are the conscientious profile. High C's want to understand the logical aspects of your plan. They listen more than they talk, have lower reactions, and use precise, detailed speech. They focus on the task and the process. They are orderly, meticulous, and diplomatic. Examples include Tom Brokaw, Bill Belichick, and Elizabeth Warren. When working with high C's, give clear expectations and deadlines. Be tactful, honor precedents, and have high standards. Be ready for them to have discomfort with ambiguity, to be resistant to vague information, and an ability to work with little contact from others. They may need encouragement or a specific reason to participate in social or group activities. As you go back to work, pay attention to yourself and others and how you might find more effective ways to communicate and interact with your staff. Remember, communication is what the listener does, so communicate in ways that make sense to the listener.